Hello, children of the night, and welcome to Tarot Nights with the Hanged Empress. Here we do shadow work following the moon, and this week we have a Sagittarius new moon. I was reflecting on what I wanted to come up and present for our Sagittarius new moon, and I really get why in Scandinavian tradition, which most of our calendar was taken from them, that we practice now, but we're in the first stages of the new year, according to the Norse calendar, and that actually makes perfect sense when you think about it, because of the transformative nature that Scorpio season has for us, especially those of us who have been actively participating in our own growth, shadow work, lives. We really did go through some transformations. We experienced some deaths, and shit got real. Things went down, and we saw a lot of new faces attached to old faces, true faces. Some of them were kind of ugly. Some of them were not attractive, but they came out regardless from their transformation. Some of us rose as beasts. Some of us rose as better people. And how we acted and practiced during the explosiveness of the transformation, of the harsh switch up from frozen, solid, fixated Scorpio water energy into that fiery Sagittarius, it really activated something in all of us, and we started participating as new characters, as new people, after going through our chrysalis phase of Scorpio season. So it's all really very interesting. I feel like a lot of us got some new insights on how to better use our tools. Some of them utilize them as weapons. You know, you can do that. Some people didn't really learn anything at all. They weren't doing much. And you can do that too. But it's been interesting, and I think it's going to be an interesting set of reads. So let's get into it. Hey there, Leo show. There's something about loyalty and recognizing that we might be loyal to an idea, person, place, or thing that has changed with time. Because we all have our greatest and worst potentials, and every day is an opportunity for us to live, exist in those truths, whether they are dark or light. And that's the tricky thing about loyalty, I think. Lots of signs have loyalty as a character trait, and also kind of a character flaw sometimes. Leos, Virgos, all of that noise. And I think that is the thing about loyalty, is that we have to be loyal to ourselves first. And those who are aligned with us just naturally fall into place and position. In a room full of people, in a bar full of people, we all come together for our own reasons, our own personal pursuits, and who gathers with us are the people who are on that path, on that journey, and that's where our loyalty lies. We never betray ourselves for the sake of loyalty. We never betray our own moral code for the sake of loyalty, and I think that's where people get confused, because they think that loyalty means following without question, defending without further examination or analysis of what the situation is. Because it's true sometimes that leader that we are following may not be going down the road that we are on ourselves. Our truths might part ways. And in a connection type situation, you might want to hold on to that connection. You might want to stay loyal, but that doesn't always mean picking up a sword and fighting alongside of them. Sometimes it means pulling them aside and having a drink with them and talking it out. Like, hey, I know you really feel strongly this way, but I don't think we need to go to war today over this. That's being a good friend. That's being loyal too. Being their comfort, their grounding, their solidity in those moments. Just like jumping into the lion's den when you know that they are about to be eaten alive. See? Keeping and maintaining your loyalty to yourself is what attracts and binds you to your true friends. That's what brings you that light and that love. The ability. Look at how they are dancing. We're dancing. You're not running off into a different direction than I am, and if you do, I might pull you back. I might let you spin out a little bit over here, but you're coming right back. And that's a bond, and that's a connection, and that is what loyalty really is. Knowing when they're right and when they're wrong, and knowing how to act in those moments. No one is ever completely right all of the time. But existing in our sunshine together as a team, a partnership, a group, it's about knowing when and where to water. I don't know if I can get you that little faucet spigot just pouring the water out into those sunflowers. It's about knowing when and where to water and when and where to draw a sword and fight. There's time and there's place. There's work and there's play. And all of those things can be aligned. And that's why, like, the Three of Cups and then the Three of Pentacles, like, this isn't just a singular dynamic. This is a full-on alliance. It's a group. It's a team. I say about the water and the sword and knowing exactly when those things are necessary. Nine of Wands on the lookout. Page of Swords. Knight of Cups. You can be both of those things. You can be fearless, you can be brave, you can be the fighter, and you can also be the kind and gentle lover. The voice of reason and the voice of your true heart, and upholding and maintaining. Yeah, be on the lookout. Show up as your most authentic self in all places, locations. Show your loyalty, give your loyalty, but remember that we hold that loyalty within ourselves first. We follow our own sunshine, our own guiding light, and that's what attracts and solidifies the team. It's not blind support. It never is blind support. That is never the answer. Never should we follow somebody without question. Always question. Always ask yourself first, how do I feel about this? I want to bring that up. But that is the lesson of the day. That is the most important thing. Is like, this is always a possibility. anything that we build could be torn down and destroyed at any given time. Families divide, groups fight. But holding your own moral ground is what is going to, and being your own solid foundation is what is going to keep you standing, keep your group standing, keep your team standing. I was gonna say I don't know if I have more or not. This feels pretty wrapped up tight, but what fell into our laps? The Chariot and the Three of Swords. They came to me face down and reversed. Yeah, don't stand your ground for a unjust cause. If you charge out into the fight without first checking in with yourself, then your movement and actions are going to be tied to this Three of Swords. You're gonna end up hurting yourself in the end if you don't honor yourself first. Oh, I was just ruminating on this actually through my bloodline, essentially, and the good old Finnish tradition of, I meet somebody, they show me their gods, and I say, oh, that's cool, I like you, you have a god, oh, that's neat that he does things for you, that's so cool, I honor that magic, I love it. Oh yeah, you want me to take this god and use this magic? Well, sure, why not? I'm gonna take your god and I'm gonna put him on the shelf with all of my other gods, and he is going to work with all of my other gods, and if they disagree, I'm going to ask myself first who I think is the most right and the most just deity in that moment in time. I'm not going to hold one above the other. I like God magic. I like that light. I like that spark. I think it's beautiful, no matter how it's expressed, whatever your relation to deity is. Because deity is really just a name and a face and an expression that we put on the idea and concept of pure energy. Because if we attach energy to a specific person face, that comes with all of their personal flaws. That's why we have the concept of deity, something that doesn't hold those other flaws or holds them in a different way and regard. Because it's a higher octave of those energies. Even the lower energies are more clean, more pure than what we experience in our people-to-people relationships. And that's what makes deity deity. That's what makes God God. Is that it's something separate. It's something not as tainted as we are, not as mixed up, not as confused. Sure, they're mixed up. Sure, they're confused. Sure, they, war with each other. But at the same time, there's still an idea, a concept of a purest representation. And whatever that is for you is great. That's fantastic. If it works for you and it fills your heart with love and light, that's awesome. If you want me to take that in and use some of that love and light, most definitely. But that is not the only thing going into my cauldron. That is not the only God that sits on my shelf. I love and respect all energies in their purest form. And I think that they all have their time and their place. And knowing that, and having that relationship where I can question my gods, where I can say, yeah, but I don't know if that's right for me, and I can move to another energy that speaks more truly to how I'm feeling about a situation and operate under that. Mutable earth, we're going to move around a lot. But that is the challenge and the concept here, and yeah, that's all I can pull for you. I can talk deeper, and we can go further into it. If you want to get into, specifics and details, hit me up. Beyond that, honor yourself, and honor your friends. Give loyalty to the people that you love who are working with you to build and grow and make beauty and light and love in the world and serve your God. And don't forget to question everyone, everything, even yourself. That will keep you on the good path. It's a good time to practice breath work. Before we act, before we move, before we do anything, take a pause, hold your breath, and sit with it for a second. Find the righteous path within your own heart and then proceed. Because if we act impulsively at this time, if we act out of blind loyalty, we will be hurt as a result. There's no other way for it to go. You need to learn how to honor yourself. And we'll keep running through that lesson until we figure it out. Thank you so much, Leo. This was a very interesting and much needed read. Appreciate you. We'll see you next time.